Hello, and welcome to another edition of Discover Mercer County Business. I'm your host, Rod Wilt, and I'm the Executive Director of Penn-Northwest Development Corporation, and we are Mercer County, Pennsylvania's certified economic development organization. Our motto is Make It in Mercer County, and our role is to create low-cost financing solutions for recruiting, retaining, and growing jobs and business opportunities in every corner of our county. The sole purpose of this program is to showcase people and organizations that are making things happen here. We interview them to find out why they have chosen Mercer County, Pennsylvania as a great place to live, learn, work, and play. We're producing this show in conjunction with Teal College students, faculty, and staff, and we're coming to you from the state-of-the-art TV and radio studios in the James Pettis Communications Center on Teal's campus in Greenville. If you would like to connect with our Improvement Movement team to see how you can make it in Mercer County, please visit our website at penn-northwest.com or give us a call at 724-662-3705. You can also find us on YouTube by searching Penn Northwest Development Corp. Or connect with us on LinkedIn and other social media platforms. We hope you enjoyed this edition of Discover Mercer County Business. Today we welcome to our program Mr. Nick Pochiba from AXIAS Wealth Advisor, AWA. Nick, welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks for having me here, Rod.
I really appreciate you being with us, Nick. So before we get into the AXIAS Wealth Advisors, because it's a fascinating business and the niche of the business that you're in, we've talked about it a number of times off camera. I think it's going to be very informative to our viewers. But, just talk about how you came to the career of being in the wealth management business.
Sure, absolutely. So I wish that my journey was as clear cut as most people's, but I hopped around a little bit. I worked for a couple of years when I was in college as intern for a big bank in Pittsburgh. Thought that was the area I wanted to get into, and I worked as really an analyst on a wealth management team. And after being there for about a year, I was told, come back when you have some gray hair, and then you can be the wealth manager. And I didn't like that too much. So actually was recruited by a small but pretty successful consulting company and worked there for a 2-year contract. And when the contract was up, I decided, this is what I really wanted to do. My heart was always in it. So I joined a big broker dealer in Pittsburgh and worked there for probably 3 years, maybe a little more. And in a very Mad Men type fashion, a couple of folks and I, we left and started our own wealth management company, and here we are as AXIAS Wealth Advisors.
So AXIAS, what's the origin of the name? It's pretty interesting.
So two guys starting the thing, being half Greek, we decided that wanted something to kind of go back to our heritage. So AXIAS translates to of great value in Greek. So we said, oh, that's a great name for the firm and catchy and nothing else like it. And that's how we landed on it. So
No, that's cool. I love hearing I love hearing those stories about how it came out of your head, and yeah, it's very, very cool. When you look back, and you're not that old of a guy, but when you do look back, and and I started in the banking business as well with a English degree from here at Teal College. So when you think back over your career, Nick, and you think about your start in banking, which is what I was on a path to become a wrestling coach and an English teacher, and ended up getting a job at a bank, and started my path in finance. But your college preparation, was it to be in the finance field?
So I actually majored in accounting, and it's a really funny story because at W&J, I think we had, I don't know, 13, 14 accounting majors, and I think every single one went to work in one of the big four or a big public accounting firm. And my accounting professor would always laugh at me because I was the only one who wanted a career in finance, never wanted to go into accounting. But at that time, W&J didn't have a finance major, so that was the closest thing I could come across.
So when you started at the bank and you had this idea that maybe wealth management might be the ticket for you, was it the sales side of the business that attracted you? Was it the markets? A lot of folks come to the business because they love the stock market, they love investing.
Sure. So it's actually the relationship building part of it. So the area that Axios really uh, focuses on is retirement planning for folks. So we're not the people who do the day trades. We're not the Bitcoin folks. It is certainly something we are very methodical in planning for retirement. And my favorite part is to see clients reach their goal. When they are ready to hang up their hat and walk away from work and enjoy the rest of their life, building the relationships is what attracted me the most to the industry. And even today, I love sitting down, meeting with my clients. I tell people I have the coolest job. I get to sit down with my clients 4 or 5 times a year, have dinner, have drinks, play golf, um, and really hang out with people I like to hang out with, but at the same time, guiding them along that path of financial security and financial freedom.
But as a Pittsburgh guy, you found your way north up here to Mercer County, and you have a pretty significant business here. How did that come about?
So it's really funny. Whenever I was in the consulting world for 2 years, my point person actually was based at a company up here in Hermitage. So I met him, and when my contract was up and told him what I was going to do, he said, "Well, I want to be your first client." So I remember it was the snowiest day of the year. There were trucks on either side of I-80 driving up here to meet with this guy and his wife, and one of my favorite clients has really become a friend at this point, but he introduced me to his 4 adult children, who then introduced me to their in-laws, who then along the line introduced me to coworkers or neighbors or friends. And, fast forward, 5, 6 years later, um, here we are with at least 50 clients up here in the Shenango Valley, and it continues to grow every week. So,
I find that fascinating as well because you don't have that big corporate advertising program behind you like you might see if you're watching sports on the weekend or your favorite show during the week. It's really that handshake, that smile, that relationship and referral business that's really helped you grow.
oh, absolutely. We have a $0 marketing budget. If you look at Axios's marketing budget, it's non-existent. And it's so funny because I'll be at the office one day and I'll get an email from someone randomly, that this client up in Mercer County in Greenville and Sharpsville gave me your name and email address, or I'll get a Sharon, Pennsylvania random caller who's a call-in that my name was passed along to them. So it's 100% word of mouth, and just doing a great job for folks, doing right by our clients.
And I've had a lot of folks on our program and of course in our day-to-day operation really talk about the family environment that exists around Mercer County. That people are
Mhm.
very proud of their communities, they're proud of their families, and so that referral network. Are you kind of blown away by how fast it's happened for you in Mercer County?
I am, because when I first started, in this line of work, I always thought, well, all my clients would be local. They'd be in, you know, what people perceive as the wealthier enclaves of suburban Pittsburgh, and that certainly is not it at all. I mean, um, I'd never expected to be up here and to grow as much as I have, and quite honestly, Rod, I've really fallen in love with Mercer County and the surrounding area. It's a really cool place.
Well, we appreciate you being a member of Penn-Northwest and also helping out with our future leaders and our homegrown initiative, where we're reaching out into our schools, our colleges, and our high schools, and even eventually down into our middle schools, talking to people about the wonderful opportunities that exist to have a future here in Mercer County.
Mhm.
That a lot of folks, and I was part of this when I graduated from Greenville. Really felt like to have a successful career, I had to move away from the area.
Mhm.
So, it's been a lot of fun just getting this message out about what a great place Mercer County is to live, learn, work, and play. And you've kind of seen that for yourself being a Pittsburgh guy.
Absolutely, and I've seen just about every area that you just mentioned. So.
When you think about, the Axios wealth advisors formula,
Mhm.
what makes you folks different than maybe someone that is in your line of business but just isn't having the success that you're having? Is it, the products or the people that make you different?
I think it's the service, in all honesty. All funds that exist all exist really for any fiduciary who is in practice. For us, we do a lot of holistic planning. What I mean by that, a lot of people say they do holistic planning. We'll take a look at things we make $0 on. We want to make sure people have the right amounts of coverages, or they have the right types of loans, or they're paying the right interest rates, or their budget is on track. Things that we don't necessarily bill on, but things that if clients don't pay attention to it, it could jeopardize their greater financial picture. And really getting to know our clients. Everybody can say, on TV or in ads, every plan is custom. ours are really custom because your goals are different than my goals and our time horizons are certainly different. So we want to make sure that we're taking care of what matters most to you.
And in a lot of those cases, is it a lot of education getting people to really think about retirement, or are people coming to you saying, hey, I have a definite date in mind, help me get to that point
A little bit of
financially?
both. A little bit of both, honestly. Most of our practice is, people who are approaching retirement, people who have saved their whole lives into a 401k or a 403b or some kind of retirement plan. And they know that they're approaching retirement and they just don't know if they're on track. So they have legitimate questions. It's forefront of their mind. Other times we get folks who are retired and they just need a place to move their old 401k, park it somewhere, have somebody manage it for them. And then the other part of it is, we do a lot of work with residency programs.
What does that mean?
So whenever a physician is in their training, in their residency, they have a lot of questions around what exists for physicians, whether it be physician loans or certain government programs for student loans, what contracts are like. Big worry of theirs is, all of our friends who we graduated undergrad with, they've been saving for retirement for X amount of years. Um, they're high income earners once they come out of the residency program, so they're really capped on how much they can save in certain tax shelters because it's not translating to the percentage of income that it would for the accountant as it would the cardiologist. So we do a lot of what I say free but meaningful work for them. And we help guide them and get them on track. And then whenever they graduate, a lot of them will seek us out and want our advice and use us for retirement planning.
So that's one part of your particular practice. Your specialty is
Mhm.
the medical side. Is I think in the past we've talked. You're doing a lot of work with educators that are getting close to retirement age as well.
Exactly. A lot of the local school districts up here, it's really funny. I never thought I'd be an expert on the PCERS retirement system, but
The
uh,
PSERS, the Pennsylvania State the Teachers Retirement Program, right?
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. We had one local school teacher who was so thrilled with the work we did for him. Every retiring teacher or principal or even the school nurse at that school district, they all reached out to me and they're all clients now. So really, really cool story.
So those are some of the niches. Are there others that you've focused on? We talked about
Mhm.
the medical, the healthcare piece, and education. Is
Mhm.
that where you spend most of your time, or are there others?
So we really don't discriminate against what people do on the retirement side. We have people who are blue collar workers that we manage seven figures for, and we have business executives, we have business owners, we have plenty of physicians, obviously, teachers, really anyone who's done a good job, has saved money, and is looking to spend it down and enjoy, what they've accumulated their whole life. That's where we come in.
No, that's fantastic. Nick, we're going to take a break real
Mhm,
quick. We're going to have a commercial that we're going to show our viewers about
mhm.
the Penn-Northwest Homegrown Initiative. And we'll be right back with Nick Pochiba from AXIAS Wealth Advisors.
Is your company looking to expand and grow? Then Mercer County, Pennsylvania is the right place for you. Whether your company is involved in manufacturing, technology, logistics, health, or business services, shale gas exploration, or retail, we can help. Mercer County, Pennsylvania offers low-cost land, valuable infrastructure, a quality labor force, and the right financial tools to make your corporate expansion an affordable reality. Mercer County is only a day's drive to major markets including Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Buffalo, New York City, Chicago, and even southern Canada. Companies like GE Transportation, Joy Cone Company choose to make it in Mercer County, and Penn-Northwest wants to show you how your company can also make it in Mercer County too. Our team of experts will help you expand and save dollars. How does Penn-Northwest do it? How does Penn-Northwest save companies so much money? With a combination of low-interest loans, grants and credits, tax abatements, and even tax-free property. Here's the best part. Penn-Northwest will do most of the work for you. Just click on the button below and get the process started. Or you can first get an idea of how your organization can make it in Mercer County by using the savings estimator located at makeitinmercercounty.com. You'll see that expanding your business in Mercer County, Pennsylvania is the move that makes the most dollars and cents. Call Penn-Northwest Development Corporation at 724-662-3705 for more information.
Welcome back to this edition of Discover Mercer County Business. We're here with Nick Pochiba from AXIAS Wealth Advisors. Nick, since you and I met a little over a year ago, you've become very active in Penn-Northwest and particularly in our Future Leaders Homegrown Initiative. What attracted you to our organization, and why are you so willing to help out our young people understand what opportunities we have here in the county?
Well, it's actually funny. COVID-19 just started, I think a month into my Chamber of Commerce membership. And I'm thinking to myself, how am I going to meet all these people? I just signed up for this. I just, paid this membership fee. I really want to get the benefits out of this. So I started going down the list, and Penn-Northwest was one of the affiliate groups. So I called your office and spoke to Gary, and Gary and I had some awesome conversations, and I said, I have to meet this guy. So met Gary, and then he calls me up, I don't know, a month later and says he wants me to meet you. And you and I think, hit it off really well. We've
Yeah,
been golfing
forward.
together, had,
Yeah.
grew into a friendship, I would say. And as I got to know you and more about the group, I said, you know what, I want to be a part of this. And, there was a time, and, it may still happen, that I thought I would relocate, up here to Mercer County permanently, and wanted to show people, hey, it's a cool area. You have somebody who, everybody perceives Pittsburgh as the big city. And I think it's awesome to live up here. I think it would be a great place to raise a family. So to show people that, and to have people experience what I have experienced here, I think is really cool. So I'm willing to help out in any way I can, not only to show people who live here what there is not to move away, but also to potentially attract people from, Pittsburgh or Cleveland or Buffalo, to show that, hey, it's a great place to live, work, and play.
And we have those people here. They go to our colleges. They go to perhaps college here at Teal or Westminster just over the line, or Grove City or Penn State Shenango, or they're close. And Slippery Rock University and Edinburgh just to the north. So we're bringing all these kids to Western Pennsylvania. It's an education process, I think. Maybe you'd agree, to really get into these colleges and talk to the career placement people, and even directly to the kids about the opportunities that actually do exist here. And I think that approach, having that firm handshake, actually gathering resumes from kids that might want to, or I say kids, but young people that may want to build a career here in Mercer County, and actually hook them up with folks like you and other folks we've had on the program, and our 200 members that have all these opportunities. Have you ever, through W&J, I mean, does that concept seem like it would have a place in the market today?
I think so. I mean, at AXIAS, we always try to bring on some interns over the summer. And it's a really, I think, a nice benefit to go back to your alma mater. Chris and I both went to W&J, and Justin on our team went to W&J. So to go back and do seminars, programs, education, what have you, about what we do, I think it gauges the interest, and I think it creates a bridge. If somebody's looking for an internship or even a full-time opportunity at AXIAS, they remember us, they remember what we do, we post the opportunity, through W&J's Career Services or something like that, and it creates a bridge. And I think if local businesses do that with the colleges, with Teal, with Grove City, and the others, I think that would be a really nice funnel to keep people here, and to get people acquainted through those seminars and education sessions.
And you mentioned those, but you're available to do those to groups of people at any time, right? Whether those are groups at a particular school district or a hospital or a particular company, where you would come in and just get them to start thinking about some of their options.
Exactly.
And we got to make use of you too at the schools when we get out there, probably starting next fall, just to start talking to our young people about, your story and how you came through the high school and college ranks and found your way at a bank and said, no, I want to transfer over into this wealth management side of things. When you look to the future of wealth management, where is it going? Is it more technology based? Is there a way to continue that face-to-face personal communication, even though everyone's accounts and everything else are probably available to them right on their handheld device on their phone?
So that's where I think Axios is different. A lot of folks do the Zoom meetings, the team meetings, and while we've seen an uptick of that, or in that, since COVID started, I'm an in-person kind of guy. If I have a client 3 hours away, I'm going to get in my car, I'm going to drive out there, I'm going to review everything with them. It adds that personal touch, and I'm not going to think twice about it. People say to me all the time, "You're going all the way up to Sharon or to Greenville or to Grove City," and I'm thinking to myself, it's only an hour. It's a straight shot. People don't realize how convenient it is. And I think it really, really builds that relationship and it builds that trust, especially when you're willing to go out, meet people at their homes or their offices and say, hey, I'm here. I'm a person. I'm not just a voice on the phone. I'm not a toll free number that you call. I'm not an app with no interaction. And certainly, they can look at their statements daily with updated balances with their online access. But I think just the personal touch for me to come and answer questions and review with them really, really adds to that.
Do you think there's been an uptick in people thinking about this coming out of COVID, that people are more conscious about what they have and how to make it grow and actually planning for the future?
Mhm.
It seems to me, and I may be right, I may be wrong, that COVID gave everyone an opportunity to kind of stop and reflect about where they're at in their life and where they're going.
Mhm.
So have you seen more of those, I would call them maybe educational inquiries since things started to open up?
Absolutely. In fact, it was during COVID. I had so many clients who at that time were just prospects calling in, asking questions. I think COVID made people question their own mortality, and they wanted to make sure things were in line, things were taken care of. And 2021 was a record year, and then certainly 2021 even beat 2020 out in terms of new clients for us. Um, it was weird for me before Zoom was mainstream. I would have people just call in, and I could tell you client's whole financial situation, but if they walked into my office, I would have no idea who they were.
So you didn't have that face-to-face contact then. You had to
And,
go build that later.
and that was tough for me because we were classified as a non-essential business, and we weren't allowed to go to our offices during the shutdown. So for the first couple of weeks of that, until we got a Zoom subscription or everything like that in order, it was a voice on the phone.
What's the future of the industry? Is it getting more and more younger people to start thinking about using an advisor? Is it more products? What's coming down the pipe in terms of wealth management?
Well, I think a lot of people should start younger. A lot of my clients who come in are generally on the 45 and up in terms of age. But I'm seeing a lot more younger people inquire about using an advisor. I think people are not the do it yourselfers as they used to be. People are coming in, asking questions, wanting to be okay. They don't want to be like somebody that they know or a parent or an uncle or someone who's struggling. And I think a lot of people are curious. I get a lot of questions about, certain specific things that are the hot items right now. And it's one of those things, use a tested and tried formula. Don't, just grab for things and hope they stick.
That's what I was going to ask you about. We've all heard about the tech bubble. We've heard about now all
Mhm.
the cryptocurrencies coming out. There always seems to be in the industry that shiny object that people
Mhm.
chase. But what is your advice to that younger person that's just starting to put some money away? Is it slow and steady wins the race and stay with those tried and true things you just mentioned? Or do
Mhm.
you let them experiment a little bit with some of that shiny stuff?
So I let them experiment with that shiny stuff outside of what we do,
Okay.
because I only feel comfortable giving advice on something that is tried and tested, that we can stand behind our recommendation.
The stuff that you would invest in.
Exactly. So if I can't stand behind it, I won't handle it for a client. As nice as it would be to have more assets under management, it's one of those things that if it's not tried and tested and I don't feel comfortable enough with it, why would you pay me to do that? You could do it on your own and try it out. My advice is diversify. You don't want all your eggs in one basket. There are going to be some years some asset classes are big winners, and some years they'll be big losers. So if you diversify, and you can look at any third party data, that diversified portfolio is always going to be the way to go.
Sounds to me like you're more of a patience counselor then, teaching people to just be patient
Yes,
and
yes,
play the long game.
exactly, exactly. It gives us a little more predictability in the plan. And one of the things we like to do is the Monte Carlo analysis. A lot of firms will say, well, let's assume, 5% or 6% or 7% rate of return from now until retirement. And it will never happen that way. You and I both know that, market returns sometimes are down, sometimes they're up, and they're going to swing in completely, extreme ways too. Sometimes it might be, you know, 12% or higher. And some years it may be down 12% or lower. It's never going to be that cut and clear 5, 6, 7%. What Monte Carlo does, it runs 1,000 different trials on folks' retirement plans. And if our clients can pass those, and we like to get you as close to 100% as possible, even though an 82 is a passing score, because that makes your retirement plan bulletproof. It allows not only you to put your head on your pillow at night, but it allows me to put my head on my pillow at night, knowing that the advice I gave is very, very likely to happen and
That's
yield the results.
That's fascinating, Nick. And I know why your business is growing because you're a likable guy, you're a knowledgeable guy, and you certainly know the business and know what you're talking about. And for those of us
Thank you.
watching the program, we'll have Nick's information on how to get in touch with him on our screen behind us. We want to thank Nick Pochiba again from AXIAS Wealth Advisors for joining us, Nick. Thanks. And
Thanks
we
for
want to
having me,
thank
Rod.
you for watching this edition of Discover Mercer County Business. We are producing this show at the state-of-the-art TV and radio studios here on the campus of Teal College at the Pettis Communications Center. If you have an idea about another subject or a company you'd like to hear from, please get in touch with us on our website at www.penn-northwest.com or give us a call at 724-662-3705. And remember, you can also find out more about Penn-Northwest Development Corporation by searching for us on YouTube or connecting with us on LinkedIn and other social media platforms. We hope you enjoyed this edition of Discover Mercer County Business. We'll see you again next time.